you're not gonna be the only baby around here for too much longer. Hey, little Zot. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I've got Dan again, cute little Dan, and we're here today.
Fly.
Yeah, that fly was bothering me. And we're here today to give you guys an adoption update. So a lot of you guys have been asking for these, and you know, we've wanted to be really thorough in our updating process, but at the same time, it's always kind of this balance of like, okay, at what point do we share where we're at? And we actually dealt with a little bit, I don't want to call it drama because I think the whole process in general just like has some drama in it. But we did deal with a little bit of drama over the last couple weeks. I cried a little bit.
This video or the next video?
That's actually going to be the next video.
Okay.
So we're separating this into two updates because we have two separate kind of updates to give you guys. So the video today is going to be all about what's going on like the US side of the adoption, on our home study update, where we're at with that, and then we're going to upload another video that updates you on where we're at with the international process, because there are different situations happening. So home study, we'll start with that, and that's going to be this video. So
we had our second appointment, which was a week prior. I had dropped off that fat stack of paperwork
that we talked about in the last video.
Questionnaires that we had to fill out, an autobiography that each of us had to write, all kinds of records like what? Oh,
You were just looking on my shoulder.
We had to go to the criminal record department and get a printout of our empty criminal record, doctor's notes. So it's just a fat stack of paperwork.
So you turned that in the day that I left for Utah, right?
Right, and so a week later we went back to the office and had our interview. We were expecting, and I don't know why we were expecting this. Maybe I got some details wrong in my head, but I thought this appointment was going to be like 4 hours.
So that's the thing. We both thought that because she had actually told us, our little worker. Actually, it's kind of bothering me that you're right behind me.
No.
Yeah,
it's gonna stay right there.
But it is because I feel like I have to end up stepping forward. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
There we go. Sorry. So we both were under the impression. We were both under the impression that this was going to be like a 4-hour appointment. I think we got that impression because she told us in our first meeting, like, there's going to be 3 meetings, and the second out of the 3 is going to be the longest. Expect to be there for a long time. But when we got there, she told us, oh no, it's only going to be like an hour, hour and a half, because
we were so thorough in our paperwork.
Ow!
Yeah, so she didn't really need to know a whole lot more about us because we had done a good job on our paperwork. So she talked to us a little bit together, and then she separated us and talked to us and interviewed us separately.
So that's the thing about home study.
It was only about a little over an hour.
Total, yeah.
So fast.
So that's the thing. A home study, what they're doing, what the social worker is doing, is they're gathering a bunch of information about you, and then they're writing a report. So I think that's why she didn't have to talk with us as long, because she had so much information for her report from the paperwork we turned in. I also was like, literally, I don't think I've ever been told ever in my life that I did something super thorough and great. I was like, that was definitely teamwork.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, he's used to it. I never get that kind of comment. And it was cool because...
Well, we did have some interesting topics that we talked about because she talked about expectation.
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're a parent. She had mentioned, like, when people adopt a kid and they've already had 3 kids, sometimes they'll have an expectation of what that child is going to be like in their family dynamic. Like, that kid isn't necessarily going to behave like the rest of their children. The child could come with their own anxieties or whatever.
Yeah.
Me and her were like, we love to cuddle, so we can't wait to cuddle with this kid, but they might hate cuddling.
Yeah.
Who knows? So
they may not even like us for a couple
We
months.
can't force them to do whatever we want, because if they need their space, they're gonna just be the best having their space. So we hope we end up with a cuddler.
Well, that was a big thing she said, was that she was like, I really like, because some of the answers when I would fill them out, like, okay, for the parenting questionnaire, for example, and this gives you perspective too. I feel like if you're going through an adoption and you're like, what does that mean that they were really thorough? Because it's like, how long are these questions gonna be when you answer them? But it would say like, list some activities you plan to do with your child to bond with them. My answer was probably only 3 sentences, because I said, well, you know, I love music and I love gardening, and I love gardening. I like eating the food out of the garden. I like cooking. I like going to shows. I feel like we're probably going to do, you know, little art projects. We'll probably cook together. It was literally like 3 sentences. And then at the end I said, but honestly, it just depends. I can't really tell because I don't know what my child's gonna like. And a lot of the questions that I answered, I don't know if you were the same, but a lot of them I ended by saying, but it really just depends what our child is like, because I can't like predict and like push those things on our kid. And that's what she said to us in the meeting. She was like, the fact that you guys are so flexible and open and willing to go with the flow, she's like, that's what I feel like makes for a more successful family integration, is that we don't have all these, I mean, you can't help but have expectations. I can't help but, you know, hope that the child that we get is going to love me like I'm their mother and, you know, bond to us. But at the same time, I have to have a certain level of like, well, I don't know what's going to happen, because you just don't know what's going to happen. And she said that was a good thing, is the point.
You know when she's relaxed, when her paws just
I know.
It's so fun.
It's so cute.
But, well, back to the cuddling thing. If you're getting a kid that started off in an orphanage, they might not like cuddling as much because they didn't get enough of that. And some people that foster a child, they do, what is it? Co-sleeping. So
she said that's really common
used
in other
to sleeping
countries.
with their parental figure. So, you know, it just depends on where they're coming from and what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And then also, in an orphanage, most of them are female, right? The workers.
Yes.
And so once they're taken away from the female, then they might have a hard time reattaching to another female.
Yeah.
So they could come home and cling on to me for a few months and not want anything to do with her. So she has to be ready to accept that and not try to like push herself onto the kid and make them feel miserable when they don't really feel like attaching to that at that moment. You know, they're gonna be young. If they're between 1 and 3, you know, I know in a few years, like when the kid's 10, 13, they're not gonna remember any of it anyways, but
yeah, I mean,
you wanna try to help them along as best you can, and sometimes that means giving them space. And you know, it might mean that they hate me in the beginning, and I just
that's what I was just gonna say, was it's all guessing, right? It's all like based on patterns they've seen in psychology, but it could flip. It could be like, I've only ever seen women. Who are you? Scared of you. So really, I think the story that she was trying to hit home was to be prepared for anything and try to just be open and not have expectations. That being said,
it would be hard.
That's hard. Yes.
Because, you know, if they're not clinging on to you, you're not going to be giving them bath time. If they're kicking and screaming the whole time,
exactly.
It's not fun.
That's the thing, they were preparing you too. So even though they were preparing me for like, hey, this is likely, this could happen. Like Micah Stauffer, I know that happened with her son. He just did not really bond with her in the beginning, at least to my knowledge. That's how that played out. But they were saying that can be tiring for dad too, because it's like, he needs some help, but if the kid only is okay around him, it's like, oh, I need some help here. So
yeah, there was some stuff that I wasn't too aware of before.
Yeah.
And it was just interesting to think about. I mean, I already had the mindset of jumping into this and not having very many expectations. I've never been a father before, so I don't even know how that's gonna go. So I'm just keeping my mind open to everything, and now I just have a little bit more information to be aware of jumping into this.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what else happened in that meeting. Like, what else Like, did she ask you any specific questions you can remember? Because I can't even remember what she asked me when you left the room.
It was so short. She had a lot of info. Just, no, I don't remember, actually.
I think
life's been pretty busy right now. I've had so much information going in and out.
So much. Yeah. I think I remember her asking me in private what it was like for us to deal with conflict, because we had to rate that in our little thing, but maybe she felt like she wanted to hear it or see, because obviously it's like you're writing things, but your social worker needs to get like a vibe off of you. So I think I remember her asking me like, how do you deal with conflict? And what about your counselor? Because I see a counselor that we have gone to together before, and now he sees his own as well.
We just talk things out.
Yeah, I mean, that's the answer to that question that we said in there, that like communication. I don't even remember what else. We have one more home study appointment.
And she'll be coming here.
Which I have to email her because she said
that
we'll be touching
appointment
base
may
soon.
have been able to happen this week, but this week is July 4th weekend. Too crammed with stuff.
Yeah.
And it'll probably happen next weekend when she comes here.
Well, and because of the fact that we don't even have a country confirmed yet, I'm not even that panicked about it. I'm like, whatever. We're like almost done with our home study, because at this point, to my knowledge, that's all that's left. We gathered all documentation that the U.S. needed for this home study. We have done 2 out of the 3 appointments, and the third one, I've said this before, I literally think she's just going to show up, make sure we have a suitable house, fire extinguishers, and I think that's it. Like, make sure there's a room for our kid. And
as far as we know, we don't have to like
baby-proof
all the drawers in our kitchen and stuff.
Like for the appointment.
I mean, I might do it for a few.
Like, yeah, just for like when we have our child.
But under the sink chemicals, they'll probably be stored in another place, or I'll baby-proof. I'll lock those.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're going chemical free anyways.
Yeet. Yeah. Except for that toilet bleach.
Yeah.
We need toilet bleach. Anyways.
Yeah, toilet bleach is probably an item you want to keep around.
Well, you know, to each their own, but I want to go bleach my toilets actually, hopefully soon today maybe. But yeah, I think that's it for the U.S. home study updates.
Pretty much.
Although we haven't actually gotten our psychological report back from the psychiatrist who interviewed us, but that's okay, because if we get accepted into Korea, which is what I'm going to talk about in the international update, if we get accepted into Korea, we're going to need to do a whole nother psychological evaluation anyways.
Not a whole nother one.
Yes, a whole different test.
Well, we did a few different tests. And
they have
we
a specific
didn't
one
do one because she couldn't find the form. So instead of doing that one, we're just going to add on another form that they need. But so it's not like we're not redoing anything.
No, we're doing a new test. And she did tell us we passed. Yeah. Sweet. So yeah, guys. So that is it. I hope that this was informative for you. Let us know if you have any questions about home study that we didn't answer already. I guess the biggest point that I do want to hit home is that our thorough paperwork for the answers were literally like 2 to 4 sentences max to give anyone an idea of doing a home study. Not our autobiography. Our autobiographies were longer, but right? Wouldn't you say 2 to 5 sentences max for each question?
It was so easy.
It was, yes.
Just
and that was considered thorough.
Don't say yes or no. Some of them are actually could be yes or no answers.
Yeah, that's true. And each state, the paperwork varies.
90% of it, like the questions could be answered in 2 or 3 sentences.
And that's really what I wanted you guys to know, because I felt a little panicky. Like, I have nothing to measure this up against. How do I know, like, if we've done this right? And so just to give you that insight, that's what we did. And it was thorough. So yeah. All right, guys, so that is it for this video. Look out for our international update, which will be going up very soon. And yeah, there's a lot to fill you guys in there. All right, see you soon.
Bye.